It just takes that one deal among hundreds. And you do that one, you make 10,000, you make 30,000, you make 60,000, you might make six figures. All right, guys, you are in for a treat. My special guest is going to make a fantastic business model even better with this software. My guest today is Matt Camp from Deal Machine. If you guys know anything about wholesaling, then your brain is about to explode because he's going to show you guys how to do this even better. So, Matt, welcome to the Hone Zone. What's going on?
Hey, Hone. Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. I'm excited to go through this with everybody and share what we've got going on.
Yeah, cool, cool. So wholesaling, a lot of people know about it. The cool thing about wholesaling, right? Low barrier to entry, not much
Yep.
money, but you could actually make a whole bunch of money from wholesaling. So it checks off a lot of boxes for a lot of people. What has your experience been with wholesaling and the people that you've worked with?
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, really, in the end, Deal Machine were a tool to enable wholesalers to be more successful. So we've had people who come on, whether they've done 100 plus deals before, or they're, on the other side of that spectrum, they have no experience. They're trying to figure this thing out. They're like, man, I just want to change my life, whether it be a dead end job, or they're burnt out, or hey, they just are want to change their financial situation. Like, hey, we gave them technology to go out there and do that, and we've seen over 10,000 deals done using this process, using the Deal Machine app. And that's what I can share today, is sharing like a lot of those best practices of how to go out there and really do this for yourself.
Yeah, no, changing your life from wholesaling is actually a pretty easy thing. Just I recently did two wholesale deals, and I kind of did them by accident because I didn't go out with the intention of doing wholesale deals. They just kind of fell into my lap, and I made $60,000. And it's like, wow, some people work a whole entire year to make that kind of money, and yet in wholesaling, it was like, oh, there it was, right? So I'm excited to hear about how Deal Machine helps people with wholesaling. But for those who have no idea what wholesaling is, I let you break it down, Matt. How would you describe wholesaling?
Yeah, and it's really that first deal that is the breakthrough for a lot of people too. Like, I know you talk about like getting out there and doing deals, like to the point where you're doing them without a ton of effort now. Like, that's the goal, is to set up systems, processes, and technology to help you go do that. Wholesaling in general, like, really the thing we're helping in the market is, there are a ton of people who are dealing with financial headache, dealing with situations, dealing with problems that they cannot solve themselves. And they have properties that they either don't want to take care of anymore, they can't take care of it, and they can't list it, they can't get it on market. There's something wrong where they cannot fix it to the point where they can really go retail like that. And wholesalers, the great thing we can do in the market is we can find those people who are actually motivated. So you're looking for not just tire kickers who might sell, you're looking for people that you can solve a problem for, whether it be they're dealing with foreclosure, they're dealing with probate, they're dealing with, tax liens. There are a ton of different things that could be an urgent issue that people could be, dealing with right now. And as a wholesaler, our goal is to go find those individuals, help solve their problem, help make them aware that, hey, we can come in with a cash offer, we can come in and help them move quickly, we can help them move conveniently, we can help them save, real estate, agent fees, all these different individual reasons of why they might work with us. And then, when we find those motivated sellers, we connect them with somebody on the back end who's a cash buyer that can actually make that happen. So we're really somebody in the middle of that market, playing matchmaker, finding those motivated people, helping them solve their problem, get it's a win for them. And then, going to the cash buyer side and say, hey, I have a great deal for you. And people are willing to trade a great deal for you solving their problem. That's the value of bringing it to the market there.
Right. Wow. Good explanation. So I actually am typically the end cash buyer. So I have a lot of
There you go.
wholesalers reach out to me and they're like, Hone, I got this property. And really what they did it is exactly what you just said. They went and found somebody who's dealing with some kind of problem, some kind of financial problem, usually, where they have a property and they're looking to just get rid of the property. And so the wholesaler was like, hey, I can help solve that issue where I can help move that property for you. And I guess for the seller, the nice thing with dealing with the wholesaler is it's like one and done. They're not dealing with a real estate agent who's just marketing the property and hoping to find a buyer. The wholesaler, I mean, in a sense, they're kind of doing the same thing, but a lot of times the wholesalers have buyers that they know of in the back of their mind because they're investors. The wholesalers typically deal with investors exclusively, whereas real estate agents are dealing with investors and home buyers. So it's kind of this mix, and they don't know who's going to be the buyer. So a wholesaler typically gets that property under contract, and then they call someone like me who's like, hey, You want to buy this property? And usually I'll know within like one look, yes or no, right? I'm like, okay, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm in, and then I buy it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool. So your
Yeah. I'll,
company, oh, go ahead.
I was going to add on really quickly there. The great wholesalers out there, they're kind of thinking about both sides of that equation. They're thinking about finding great sellers. So people who, again, you can come in and solve a problem for and help them move quickly, conveniently, as is, for a cash offer, all of that. And then on the other investor, the cash buyer, and being somebody who can bring both those sides of the equation to the table and connect them. So we definitely have seen that solution to both sides of that equation over and over again, and that's what our tech really reflects, is helping you be the one being able to do both of those things.
Gotcha. So when I was talking to you behind the scenes, you were telling me about Deal Machine and how there's like three main buckets that your
Yes.
software provides the service for. And so the three main buckets was what, like identifying lists, or I'll let you do it. I'm going to butcher it, right? Go ahead, you do it. So
No,
there's
you're
three
good.
main buckets in where Deal Machine solves the issue of finding properties and all that stuff. So what is it that you
Yeah.
guys do?
Absolutely. So I would really consider it, kind of, part of that equation we're talking through of, first off, it's finding a motivated seller, finding someone who has a problem that you can come in and solve and help them move, again, conveniently, quickly, as is, for cash, like helping them solve that issue. And it's, identifying those people and reaching out to them. It's kind of that first bucket. The second bucket would then be, okay, hey, how do we close that deal? How do we make a great offer? How do we use data to really understand what that property is worth? And as the wholesaler, we're making that kind of finder's fee in the middle, that assignment fee there. So we're able to help you really come to what that offer looks like to the end, or to the seller rather. And then that third bucket is the other side of that equation, that cash buyer, that investor. And how are you able to find the seller and market to them, get in touch with them, put a great offer on that property and lock up that deal, and then go to cash buyers, go to people like you, Hone, and be able to complete that transaction and go through that whole thing.
Got it. All right. So you got this bucket where you help people find the sellers. You have a bucket to help find the buyers, and you have a bucket to help
Close that
orchestrate in
deal.
between, right? It's
Yep.
like scripts to talk to the seller. Like if the person watching this video has no idea what to say, like you have scripts and things like that. Also, you have like tools to figure out what your offer should be. So one of the
Mhm.
things that I see people do all the time is waste their time by offering too much money because they don't actually know what to offer. So this software allows you to make the right offer. So then you get it under contract, and then you have a whole CRM system, right? Where you can
Mhm.
manage the whole process. And
Mhm.
then you go and you blast it out and you find buyers and all that. So you have like everything from sellers to buyers and everything in between, literally.
Exactly. Yep. Nailed it.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Because I do know that it is a little, how do I say it, intimidating sometimes for somebody just starting out. They don't know what
Mhm.
to say and they don't know what offer to make because they don't know what the values are in the area. And so you're
Mhm.
saying that you can like put that together. Like you have your software can do that.
Yeah, the big thing in the middle. So I think on both sides of the equation, I'm happy to talk about how to find sellers, how to find buyers. But
Yep.
like you said, in the middle, you got to be confident in knowing what to offer and how to orchestrate that transaction, right? So, what I can even show this off if you want me to
Oh,
share my screen here,
yeah.
Hone.
Please
I can
do.
show this,
Yes.
in real time demo here. But inside Deal Machine, let me try to share my screen for you guys. Can you see that there?
Yep.
Perfect. So inside Deal Machine, again, happy to talk about kind of step 1 and 3 of the bucket, or those buckets rather. But the middle of the equation is making that great offer. Now, you talk about the CRM, that's a big piece of it, making sure that you kind of manage each lead that you're working on, manage each address that you're working on. And this leads tab is a great place to find those. Anytime you add a property into Deal Machine, which I can show you guys here in a minute for that. Anytime you add an address, a property into Deal Machine, it's going to go into this leads tab right here. We do have a mobile app and a desktop version, so they all sync up. Whether you're in the field on the go, you see a house in real life and you add it there, or you're just on a desktop computer and you're adding leads this way, they all appear right here. But as you go through that, you really have a CRM view right here to be able to manage these individual leads, take notes on the property, add tasks, really make sure you're following up with that seller and closing the deal. But when it comes to actually making that offer and saying like, hey, how much should I offer for this property, right? You've got two main tools here to really guide you through that process. One of them is our comping tool. So you can see like, with this property right here, you've got all this info on it, all about, the house itself, the land that it's on, the tax information, transaction history, rehab costs, all that stuff. This comps button is right next to it. When you click into that, you're going to be able to see, and let's see if we can broaden up to a different area that's got a little bit better, more comps going on in the area. Let's see, here we go. So you'll be able to go in this comping tool right here. What that's going to do is you can actually come in and say, hey, show me this property and show me every other comparable property that is recently sold that looks kind of like this house. And that comping process is what helps you get to that offer of what the property is actually worth, that after repair value. And so when you click into the comping tool, which you can access on mobile or on desktop, you'll be able to jump in and filter out and say, hey, show me houses that have sold recently. I've got the last 3 months right here. Show me houses that are similar in terms of size. Like come in here and plus or minus 15% in terms of the square footage of this house. So that means, hey, they're similar in size, they're comparable in size. Show me houses that are plus or minus 15 years built, or 10 years built rather. So showing me like, hey, this is a similar build, a similar architecture, a similar design typically for the house. And then you can come in and do things like how far away it is, and then bed and bath to really get comparable on a similar build, a similar house, recently sold. So that way you can come to that seller and know, hey, here is what my max allowable offer is. I know the ARV right here. I know what this house is worth right here. This individual property, it's coming up and it's got, a house that's sold for 512 recently. You can dig into the data here in terms of like what, the actual transaction looked like. But in real time, you can go through and say, and here, let me try filtering out this a little bit further so you can see, some stuff that would be even closer. Here, let me see here. Can go through, let's call it a mile. Let's do, 20 years built so you can get some more examples here. Let me confirm these changes for you guys. Live demo right here. So thanks for being patient here. But I can go through and change those settings to really come up with more and more comps. Like you can see right here, I've got 4 comps now. And I can actually even take that next step and say, hey, show me properties that, I'm not crossing any major roads. I want to, make sure I don't cross any major highways or major roads. That way it's a similar neighborhood too, right, Hone? So putting all that together, I can see in real time, hey, here's a more accurate comp value of what this is worth if it's all fixed up. These are all houses that have been recently sold on the MLS. So this comping tool is an awesome way in real time. If you just get used to using this to really find houses that are comparable to the one you're looking at, you can understand what is this house worth after it's all fixed up, ready to go, ready to sell. And once you have that number, the other tool that we've got is phenomenal. We have, if you click on any of these leads, you'll see in this bottom left corner right here, this little floating orb right here, Hon, in the purple guy right here.
Yep.
This is something we launched within the last 6 to 8 months or so. This is our AI assistant built into Deal Machine. And this is actually, if you're on Deal Machine Pro and up, so if you're going to try out Deal Machine, make sure to get a pro subscription if you want to try out the AI piece. But this is an awesome little kind of, I would say like deal finding assistant in real time that you can go in and do things like say, hey, what should I offer on this property? Calculate the offer price. I'm going to wholesale this property. And in front of you, it's going to actually walk you through, here's how I'm getting your max allowable offer. It's the ARV times a discount percentage. And you can say, hey, I think there's, this type of rehab that's needed. I think, I want to make XYZ, wholesaling fee on there. You can really talk to it in real time and come to a better max allowable offer. But in the field, on the spot, it's going to use AI, with our off-market property data, put all that together and guide you through exactly what offer you should make.
That is cool. I am so glad you just did that live demo there because I've never seen that before. So
Yep, it's
yeah,
newer, man.
this is that's cool. That is cool. Analyzing the property and all.
Yep. They'll analyze the property. They'll say, well, hey, here's the outstanding loan on it. Here's the max allowable offer. If the max allowable offer is bigger than what they owe on the property, then it could be a good wholesale deal. So little things like that it'll guide you through that. You can even come in, you said like, hey, what do I ask the seller? Well, the main general areas are, ask around motivation. So like, why are they looking to sell, right? Ask around condition. So, what's the condition of the house, that property. Ask around timeline. So how quickly are they looking to sell? How fast do they need that cash? and then ask around price. So ask around like what they're looking to get. And if you want to get more specific, oh, how do I get in touch? Hold on, here we go. It'll do this too. It'll give you ideas on how to get in touch with the seller. But you can go in and say, help me write a cold call script. And it'll actually go through and say, well, hey, here's what a cold call script could look like when reaching out to the seller. So this little assistant right here is going to help give you that confidence of what a conversation could look like with an owner, what to offer them, and everything in between.
Dude,
So
that's so cool. That is so cool. So if anybody is like brand new and kind of
mhm.
nervous and worried that they don't know what to say to sellers, they don't know how to price it, they don't know how to even do the business really, they can just hit that little AI button and boom. That's
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
cool. All
We try
right.
to just lower the learning curve and give you technology to give you that confidence to get out there and take action. Because again, over 10,000 deals have been done using Deal Machine. It's the common tie between them all is they lead with massive action. They get out there, even if they don't have real estate experience, you learn by doing, you learn by getting out there and talking to sellers and figuring out what are their problems they're dealing with. And being able to come in and have this technology to back you up and give you more confidence and know what to offer, what to ask about, more about the owner, more about the property before you even give a call. Like all of that's going to set you up for better success.
Wow, that's so cool. And I've had many students come to me who are looking for a big change. They're looking to leave their job. They're just looking to make more money. Like,
Mhm.
there's like really like heartfelt stories where I had one student. So he joined my program to learn how to be a real estate investor, but he didn't really even know what real estate investing was. He had no idea. But he joins, and he has a very simple question. He goes, "Okay, what now?" Right?
Yeah.
Literally like, "What now?" Like, I don't even know how to spell real estate. That kind of new, right? And we go, "Okay, well, go find a property and get it under contract." And he's like, "How do I do that?" Right. And it's like, "Oh, go talk to sellers." And he's like, "Where are the sellers at?" So at the time, we used Craigslist. Like this was I'm going
Nice.
years ago. They didn't have Deal Machine back then. Right. And so we go on Craigslist. He finds a property on Craigslist. He talks to the seller. He asks us, like, "Hey, what do I say?" We go, "Say this." Right. And, we're giving him the script. There's no AI button to press. So we're giving him the script. He goes out, he gets the property under contract. Or actually, he talks to the seller. He sets up a meeting to get it under contract. And he calls me. He's like, "Hone, can you go with me?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I go with him. And I give him the contract. He has the piece of paper and everything. And I'm looking at him and I like take a picture of him while he's there. He looks cool and calm, but he said inside he was like sweating, like his heart with
I'm sure.
thumping. Yeah. But what's cool is he got the property under contract and then was able to sell it for $10,000. So he made $10,000 as his wholesale fee. Later on, he tells me, "Hone, when I joined your program, what I didn't tell you was that I had, I think it was like a preschool or daycare or some kind of bill, some kind of kid bill coming up."
Mhm.
And he's like, "I knew that bill was coming down the line and it was like 8 months away or something like that. And I actually had no plan on how I was going to pay that because at the job that I was at, even if I saved all the money after paying my house bill and my car bill and whatever, after I could save every penny and not use it for anything fun, it still wouldn't have been enough." And so
Yeah.
wholesaling the deal, making $10,000, it actually, he said it allowed him to feel like a man, if that makes any sense, right? It just allowed him to step up to the plate, be the man, pay the bill, be the best father in the world, take care of his family. And so now I'm seeing that software have that little AI button, which means that anybody who's brand new, doesn't know how to spell real estate. That's always the joke I use, right? So new, they don't know how to spell real estate. They can literally just hit that button, and all of a sudden, they now know what to say, what to offer, and how this whole process works. That is so
Mhm.
cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, we've had those stories over and over again too, man.
Yeah,
Like that's the reason why we do it. Like we love to be able to truly like have people change their life by getting out there and using this stuff. One example that comes to mind, you can find this on our YouTube channel, Patrick Martin. He's based in Greenville, South Carolina. He's somebody he was literally sleeping in his truck. Like he was
wow,
just, down on his luck for a variety of reasons and just, was looking to get out there and really change his life. And I know he found us through YouTube actually. He
yeah,
was doing the whole YouTube University route and found wholesaling, found real estate, and went all in. Like he took massive action. He knew he was going to learn by doing. He knew it was going to be imperfect action, but he led with that action of trying to find sellers, trying to put in offers, trying to find people like yourself to sell that property to, and again make that wholesale fee, make that kind of finder's fee in the middle. And he's somebody in 10 months. He did, it was like 14 deals, did 6 figures in wholesale contracts, and completely changed what he was doing. So he's somebody who, like, those are the stories that inspire us. That's what gets us excited to continue to do this. And we're always innovating. We're always adding new stuff, like the AI tool that was recent. But it's because of those customers, and that's why we love to do what we do, man.
Oh yeah, and you just triggered a thought. So the person I was just talking about who did the wholesale deal for $10,000. So obviously he didn't have a lot of money. That's why he couldn't afford the thing, right? But in addition to that, he had poor credit, right? So he didn't have much money. He didn't have much credit, or actually really bad credit, and yet he was able to do that deal. And also he didn't have like much schooling or anything like that. So this wholesaling thing, it really just kind of like levels the playing field. It's like anybody can do it anywhere. And so it doesn't matter if you're like wholesaling locally to where you are, or you're trying to create a nationwide business. Like this is for you. So actually, let's go into that.
Yeah.
If somebody
Eh,
wanted to get started, like what do you say about that? And should they do it locally? Should they do it nationally? Like, how's this all
mhm.
work?
Yeah, and that's something too. I mean, I would say our mission, like literally our one line mission internally as a team that we review every single week whenever we're all hanging out together. We've got 30 some odd people. It's give everyone the power of real estate. And it's being able to go out there and take action like these, like Patrick, like the student you're talking about, and give it to anyone out there who wants to really lead with action and lead by doing, and take their own, fate into their own hands like that.
Dude,
So
that's kind of cool. I
uh,
never heard that before. We give
mhm.
everybody the power of real estate. Is that what you said?
Yeah, yep, that's our
Wow.
one liner.
That's so
Yep.
cool. Cause yeah, like real estate is kind of like a superpower. You know how to do deals. Like you can make money out of thin air. Like I said in the beginning of the call, I did 2 wholesale deals completely by accident. And $60,000 later, it's like, where'd that money come from? Like it's so cool.
Yeah,
But
especially
and
that first deal, like I said, like when it clicks and you're like, oh, this is a real thing. Like I can
right.
actually do this. Um,
Yeah.
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 Uh,
So people watching this, they're like, okay,
yes.
guys, I'm sold. I'm in. What do they do?
Where do they start? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
what do they do?
So
Where do they start?
So first of all, and I can share my screen again here to kind of show you those 3 buckets quickly,
Sure.
and share a lot of action steps for you guys. I will mention as I go through this, if you want to try this out yourself, we do have a 7-day free trial.
Oh,
So
sweet.
if you do that, it's dealmachine.com/honezone. Got it all hooked up.
Nice.
It's
All right
there.
there, home zone.
There we go. Easy to remember there. That is a great place just for you to try it out for free. Try this yourself. Get out there, start messing around with it. I'll tell you some bonuses that come with that as we go through here, so that way you know exactly what to do with it here. But
Yeah. Oh,
if you
and
want to try this out for free, that's through it.
I wanted to
Mhm.
mention real quick. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you probably are because I'm probably not going to post this anywhere else. But if you guys are watching this on YouTube, I'm most likely going to have to blur out all of the addresses and names and stuff like that. So if you're
Right.
trying to watch this and go like, oh, let me follow along. How come everything's blurred? It's because YouTube flags me when I put out people's personal information. So they don't like that. So if you see a
Yeah.
blurry screen, that's why.
Yeah. Good call. So on here, just to kind of give you that crash course, first bucket is finding those motivated sellers and reaching out to them. There's a couple ways you can be doing it. Inside Deal Machine, first and foremost, what we're actually known for more than anything is actually the term driving for dollars. So, if you've heard that term before, if anybody on here, the idea is you getting in a car, driving around, looking for fixer-upper houses, looking for those houses that if it's run down, that's actually the number one indicator that they could be a motivated seller, because it just shows that, hey, they don't want to deal with this property anymore, or they can't. They have got a problem that they can't solve, and they can't, again, they can't go the retail route, they can't go the traditional route. Those are the people we can actually help. That you can come in, and if you can solve a big problem for them, people are willing to trade a big solution for equity on a deal, for a good deal. And that's where you're going to be able to find that value, is you come in and help solve that problem for them, change their life, change the seller's life, and on your end be able to say like, hey, yeah, let me connect this deal with a hone, with somebody who's looking to buy and that can fix it up.
Right.
So how to go find those sellers to first and foremost get out there driving for dollars. You can do this on the mobile app or on the desktop version that I'm showing off right here. But if you zoom in here, let me show you guys a little bit of this. The map here, what you'll notice when I zoom in, I'm in St. Louis here. Looks like West County or ish. Looking at St. Louis right here. Zoom in a little bit. What you'll notice once I get down to ground level, and this is again, the desktop version, the mobile app locks onto your location. But what you'll notice is all these little black dots start to pop up around me. And all these black dots are individual houses that when I drive down the street, when I'm, driving for dollars here and I'm looking for those rundown houses, or I'm looking for houses with signs of distress, that they pop up on the app right here, and it locks on your location. So as I'm driving down Dale Avenue right here, it's going to lock onto my location. You'll see a little dot pop up just like GPS would. And as I'm driving down the street, if I see 7747 Dale Avenue in real life and it's run down, I just simply click on it in the app, hit add lead, which means adding the address to my deal machine. It pops up a little blue pin and then move on to the next one. That means that again, all you're looking for are houses that have, the tarp on the roof, the gutters falling off, broken boarded up windows, really, even things like a really overstuffed mailbox means it could be vacant.
Tall grass.
All really, really tall grass. That's a great one. Front yard, backyard, a mess. Even less obvious things, more subtle things. Like I use this example all the time, but one of our early employees, he found his first deal. It was a house that had Halloween decorations up, and it was like March. So it's just like,
Oh,
oh man, they
I've
missed some
never
holidays
heard of
here.
that.
Yeah,
Wow.
it could be little things like that. We're just like something's a little off. Something's out of place.
Yeah.
And those houses too, like not only are they the most motivated people, but they also are the least competitive because you had to put that work in. You had to go drive around and find those houses that, not everybody has easy access to. So if you drive down the street looking for those, you can toggle over, you can get a satellite view to see the satellite image of those houses. You'll notice that the routes, when you drive down the street, it's going to track your routes, and you have a little tail that pops up behind you. And that way you can look and see at all of your past routes,
Oh, so you're not just
mhm.
like blindly driving around, like, did I hit this street or that street? Because I've done driving for dollars in the past just to learn neighborhoods.
Yep,
And after you drive 7 different blocks, 10 blocks, you start like one block looks like the next, looks like next.
exactly.
This is
Yep.
like a breadcrumb thing.
Yep. So you can see stuff like, pulling up Elliot. This is one that's a route he drove a while ago. It changes actually colors as well, where for 6 months they're green. And then after that, they turn yellow at 6 months. And then they turn red after a year. So you can look at the map, see color coded, where have you been? How long has it been since I went there? And just cover your entire city by doing this. And then once it turns yellow, go redrive it. So,
Wow. That
mhm,
that's cool. The time thing is cool too. Not only did you
yep.
drive it, but when you drove it. Oh, that's
Exactly.
so
When you
genius.
drove it, how far you drove, how many leads you added, how long it took you. So you can really do the math on like, hey, here's how many leads per hour I'm adding and that type of thing. So I'd say you can do that. You can also add if you're on Pro, which is the one with the Alma AI tool. Our Pro plan, you get 3 users as well to go out there and team up and drive together, drive for you. But we have people doing this in person. We have people doing this virtually as well, where if you click this little orange button right here, and then click anywhere in the map and on the app right here and hit start driving, it's going to import Google Street Image. This is a perfect example.
Get
Google
out
Street
of
Image right
here.
there. So there you go. Yep. And that's a good house. That's a good example. There you go, man. So, if you're looking at that, you can click and essentially go clicking for dollars here, where you click down the street,
Oh,
you look at that house, you
clicking for dollars.
hit add lead, and there you go. You do this 24/7 in any market.
Oh my
We have
God.
people
You can
do,
have VAs
land deals
doing
like this.
this.
Yep.
Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
gosh. You can have a college kid doing this.
Yep. Yep. You don't have to have a car. If you don't have a car, hey, here's a great option.
Oh, you are eliminating excuses. Holy moly. This is virtual driving for dollars or clicking for dollars. So
Yep.
cool.
It's a
Uh,
big one.
that
Yep.
that's incredible.
So people are starting there. They're driving for dollars, they're virtual driving. Then the other option here is okay, if we want to look for right signs of motivation, right? Like what could motivate somebody to sell and sell at a discount because you're solving their problem, right? Go in here and on the map, you'll notice we've got this kind of top bar going on. You've got here, let me click out of this for you. Back to
So while you're clicking around, something that
yep.
I'm noticing and thinking of is
Mhm.
if a person wanted to work their backyard, if you will, if they wanted to work locally, they could. And if they wanted to work somewhere else in the country, they could. So
Yep.
whichever one they feel most comfortable with, they could. And this
Mhm.
shows you like, yeah, if you want to just work your neighborhood, plow your neighborhood,
Mhm.
great. Like you can
Yep.
choose your neighborhood or any
Yeah.
neighborhood in the whole country.
You can do it virtually, or even, you could technically have somebody drive for you in a different market too, and say like, "Hey, use Deal Machine to drive. I'll add you to my team and have them go drive in that area." So there's a couple ways you can do it virtual. Um, I'll mention so the other thing, if you're going to not drive for dollars, if you want to do again tapping into seller motivations, you can start with an entire area. 63109 is an example. Click that. It's going to outline that area, that zip code for you. And based on that, this bottom bar will show you exactly how many properties in real time are fitting your criteria. So I've got what 10,990 properties in 63109 in South City, St. Louis. And then I can start filtering and I can say, hey, show me houses that are single family. Cool. That nails it down to 8466. All right, great. Show me houses that are, expired listings. They tried to sell it on the market and now they didn't get a buyer, expired.
Oh, that's a
Uh,
good one.
and let's see, we've got what? Let's see here, probably a handful, 35 houses right
That's
there.
that's good because you know that they at least tried to. It's not a random shot
Mhm.
like I hope this person wants to sell. No, this person tried to sell and it expired unsold.
Mhm.
So you can literally just go, "Hey, are you still interested in selling? I see
Mhm.
that you tried and it didn't work out. Let's talk about it." That's a good
Yep.
one.
So that's definitely a motivated one. Vacant homes, like the post office couldn't deliver mail to them. You can show that, hey, now we've got what 88 properties that fit that. You've got all kinds of stuff you can work with here, guys, like in terms of even equity, tax delinquent properties, foreclosure properties, probate, senior owner, tired landlord, all kinds of different motivated filters that all you have to do is just start, picking in an area, start playing around with that. Say I've got, just start here, vacant houses right here. Awesome. 88 properties that are single family home vacant houses in 63109. This little build list button, just click on that and it's going to pull that list right there for me. Took a few seconds, click on view list, and here you go. You've got those 88 leads all ready to go, ready to reach out to, ready to get in touch with. So, that first bucket is drive for dollars, virtual drive, pull a list, whatever you're going to do. Get a list of motivated sellers and start reaching out to them using really the two main ways on here is all these phone numbers. You've noticed I didn't even have to press anything else. It comes with phone numbers ready to go for you, ready to reach out to people. So phone numbers, and then also each individual property, you've got a little start mail button right here. This is the power of automation. The power of technology is clicking, you can literally hit start mail, say, we on our end, we fulfill everything when it comes to the mail. So we can come in and actually we give you 10 default mail templates to tap into and just say, hey, send them this postcard, send it, yeah, and then you can set all this, send it every 21 days, send it once a month, however often, send it this many times total. And that's why you click one button, then you just set it and forget it. And those phone calls start coming in of people that you've reached out to with mail enough times to really get on their radar.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. This is incredible. This is really cool. Really, really powerful stuff. So if anybody's just like, I got a little time on the weekends, I got a little time after work, I can do this during my lunch break. Like you could do all of things that you're saying. And the other thing that I was just thinking of as you were showing us the map and how many properties were located. So
Mhm.
when you were like way out, there was like, I don't know, 10,000 properties. And then
Mhm.
when you zoomed in, it was like 4,000 properties. Zoom in, 800 properties. If you really think about it, if you could clear $10,000 just off of one, it
Mhm.
doesn't take many. And you have so many to choose. You zoomed in, I think, to approximately, I want to say like 2 or 3 blocks,
Mhm.
right? A 2 or 3 block window.
Mhm.
There were hundreds of deals, right?
Mhm.
Hundreds of properties, I should say. If there's one deal within a 2 to 3 block radius, I
Yep.
mean, it doesn't take much for those listening. People are watching this video, watch the Hone Zone because they want to get into real estate. They want to do deals. And why? Ultimately, it's because they want to make more money so that they can go do the things that they want to do, go pay the bills, go pay for daycare, whatever it is. Real estate gets to change their life, and we get to give them the power of real estate to do that, right?
Absolutely.
It just takes that one deal among hundreds. And you do that one, you make 10,000, you make 30,000, you make 60,000, you might make six figures. Like I have a friend who he wholesaled two properties. They were next door to each other, right? Next door to each other, owned by the same person. He got both properties under contract and he sold them and ended up making $220,000. So 110 each.
Wow. Wow.
And he sold both to the
Hmm.
same investor who bought both and fixed up both and flipped it. So my buddy didn't do any of the work. He just sold it to the guy who did do the work. And he made $220,000. Two
Yeah.
properties. I know people who make like $220,000 in like 10 years, or maybe not 10 years, but like five, I don't know. But he did this in one deal.
Hmm.
It doesn't
Yep.
take much to change your life. And this software is just it's blowing my mind because I haven't seen this yet. So guys, if you're wondering,
We're
this is not staged. I haven't seen this yet. This is the first time I'm seeing it.
we're always innovating too, man. Like even if I would have done this a year ago, like a lot of this
Yeah,
stuff,
right. It's
wasn't in
different.
there. So we're always evolving. It's crazy how much opportunity is out there too. Like in the market at any given time. I mean, there's a huge, literally millions of homes that are dealing with some kind of distress like this. That the whole goal is just go to find those people who aren't just you're not making a deal. You're not convincing someone to move that doesn't need to move. You're finding people that you can solve problems for and helping them move.
Right.
So if you're coming in and you find somebody and come to an offer where they're excited to be able to take that offer, and then the numbers work on the back end with that cash buyer with someone like you, we do see people clear six-figure deals like that all the time. I mean, we
Right.
have
One deal.
hundreds of people we've interviewed on our YouTube channel talking through exactly how they did this. So yeah, that's the goal is go out there, build a list of sellers, reach out to them. Then use AI, use the CRM, use the comms tool to come to a great offer and know how to talk to that seller, and then go in. And I can show one last thing here, Hone,
Yep.
too. On our side, the cash buyer piece. So
No.
let me click on this here. We
Yeah.
do have awesome options around that as well, where you can go in and say you have a property locked up. Let me go back out here. So you have a property locked up in 63109 again. Let me clear all my filters from earlier. If you go into this and say, like, yeah, show me properties in 63109, and it will go back to that 10,990 number. We do have some filters here where you could say, okay, show me all the single family owners, and then when I click on quick filters, there's a cash buyers quick filter, and these are people like yourself who have
Hmm.
bought with cash, own multiple properties, are looking at potentially expanding, and they're, let's see, probably got quite a few, I would guess, in this area is a investor heavy area. But it'll go through, and let's see if this will pull that up. That cash buyers list, I can actually pull that and say, hey, I want to know, other people who have bought single family homes for cash in this area. And you can even go through and take a even more exact approach where if you click on this more tab right here, here you go, 736 properties that have owners behind them that fit that criteria. And if you want to get even more specific, there's a more filters tab. We have 150 plus data points you can tap into. Things like, hey, owner has multiple properties.
Hmm.
Owner is a house flipper. Things like this, where you can
Wow.
easily come in and just say, like, yeah, show me if there's any house flippers in this area. We've got two that fit right there. Awesome, cool. That have recently flipped single family homes. Show me properties that our owner has multiple properties here. Yes, we've got this demographic data on individual owners to come in and say, like, hey, yeah, they're a cash buyer. Oh yeah, that's part of the cash buyer criteria. So we've got 736 properties right here. And if I just want to build that list, pull that list for myself right here, I've got literally 736 people to reach out to that, let's see, it should take just a few seconds here to build in real time. And again, we've got contact info already built into this for you. Like a common term you hear in the industry is the term skip trace, which
Yeah.
means pinging a database, and you have to pay to get contact information for those owners. typically it's like 10 cents, 12 cents pretty often. This is built into Deal Machine now. Like we have you, if you're even on our starter plan, you get 10,000 properties that already come with that contact info. So that would normally be $1,000 of skip tracing, right? Or
Right.
more. You've got this already ready to go. Here's my 736 cash buyers ready to go. Here's a phone number. Here's a phone number, and just go into that already built in, ready to call these people without lifting a finger, without spending a cent more.
Right,
So.
right. So like if this was like 12 cents or whatever, like this 736 leads
Mhm.
would cost you $100, right? That's
Yeah.
like an extra $100 for nothing when this is for free right there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. And it's built in already. So if you got Andrew and Jill right here, Andrew owns 3 properties. So, could be potentially looking to expand that. Well, hey, here's his phone number right here, landline and wireless. Give him a call.
Yeah.
Cool.
Again, for those watching this on
Yeah.
YouTube, this
Just
might
blur
be
that
all
one.
blurred and just trust that what he's saying is true. Information is all there, phone numbers, addresses, names, whatnot. I just can't show it to you because YouTube doesn't like that.
Yeah.
So I know that you want to offer people a pretty sweet deal if they
Yes.
register from watching this video, right? As like a free gift to make it just easier to get into. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I mentioned if you do that dealmachine.com/homezone, that's going to fill out promo code homezone to activate this for you. But you'll get a 7-day free trial of Deal Machine. You'll get that unlimited free contact information. So the unlimited free skip tracing built in right there. So even if you have the starter plan, that's 10,000, contacts right there that you've got that. And if you go on the map, anybody you click on, the contact info is right there, unlimited free. And then for a bonus with you guys too, we'll give you 50 free postcards to reach out to sellers. Like
Nice.
we want you guys to get going, contacting them, following up with the mail. Again, all you have to do is hit start mail, and it's going to start that mail campaign for you. You'll have 50 free postcards that normally you have to pay for the postage and all that stuff. It's really, it's what, 52 cents a postcard, depending upon what plan you're on with us. That'll be 50 of those free built into Deal Machine ready to go for you. So that way you've got it's 7 days free to try this stuff out, take action on it, use the mail to reach out to people for free. And we've had plenty of people even land their first deal in that 7-day free trial. Like, that's not the average, not the normal, but it has happened. And I want to set you guys up for long-term success. So get out there, start building your list, start reaching out to people, make great offers, and close that deal.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible. And yeah, though it's not the norm, right? Everybody's journey is unique, and I want to put this out there. Everybody has a unique journey, and because everybody has a unique journey, it's going to look different. Like, don't think that it can't happen for you.
Mhm.
Like, make up the story that it can happen for you. It happened this way. Another thing I often hear is like, well, why would they sell it to me? Why wouldn't they just list it with a real estate agent? Well, oftentimes this property is like crappy and low cost, and the commission on it would be very low. A real estate agent may not actually want to even deal with it. The
Mhm.
agent, number one, doesn't want to deal with it because it's ugly, it's crappy, it's low value. And then two, it's going to be hard to sell to the agent's clients. Typically, it's an investor who wants to buy it. So you come in there and you're like, hey, I can offer you, seller, a cash offer. Here, sign this contract. And then you go find a buyer like myself to make that cash offer. By the way, I know a lot of people are thinking this, like, who the heck's a cash buyer? How do they have so much cash? If you guys join the Home Zone program, my real estate course, I can teach you guys how you can even use credit cards to buy real estate. And so on the transaction sheet, on the HUD sheet, whatever you call it, it shows cash deal. It just means no mortgage. But if the cash is coming from a credit card or a line of credit, it still just looks like cash. So that's how it works. And I teach my students how to do that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's a great tip too in terms of like, why they just work with an agent. I actually highly recommend asking that question straight up to the seller because they've thought of that. Obviously,
right.
they're thinking about, what they should do. And that's a great way to uncover like what is the real motivation here? What's the real problem they're dealing with? Why can't they work with an agent? And that's the value we're bringing to the table.
What's
So
cool is that expired listing one that you did.
yeah,
They
there
tried
you go.
working with an agent. It didn't work.
Yep. That's a big one. I know our CEO David. I mean, he's getting a ton of deals that way. You just using Deal Machine and trying to go after people who are having trouble selling the house.
Right, right. Not only is he the president, but he's also a client. That's the hair loss commercial.
Yeah.
But in that,
Nice.
yeah. Um, Wow. Well, this was cooler than I thought this would be. Not saying anything that I had any kind of preconceived notions, Matt, but this was super cool ultimately, right? Super cool. Guys, if you're watching this, I hope you gain a lot of value from this. If you guys want to try out Deal Machine, go to dealmachine.com/hone zone. And this way you'll get all of the free gifts that Matt is offering, because if you go to Deal Machine by yourself without that link, you won't get all of the free benefits. So check out dealmachine.com/hone zone. The link will be in the description below as well. Matt, any last words for the viewers?
Yeah, guys, I'll have to say just take action. Like that's the one thing across the board that people are changing their lives with is they lead with action, they lead by doing, and then learn throughout the process. So, excited for you guys to get out there, try this stuff out, and thanks for having me on, Hone.
Yeah, anytime. Come back soon. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.